You know what's crazy? Right now, you're probably wearing glasses or squinting at this screen, thinking you're stuck with bad vision forever. Well, I've got news that's gonna flip your world upside down. Those expensive frames sitting on your nose? They might have been a temporary fix that became permanent because nobody told you the real story. See, I spent years glued to computer screens, just like you, watching my eyesight slip away like sand through my fingers. But here's the kicker. What if I told you that poor vision isn't just about genetics or age? It's actually about something dying inside your eyes right this very second. Yeah, you heard that right. Dying. And before you think I'm being dramatic, let me paint you a picture. Inside the back of your eyeball, there's this tiny spot smaller than a grain of sand, packed with millions of little power plants called mitochondria. These bad boys are the reason you can see colors, read text, and recognize faces. But here's where it gets wild. By the time you hit 60, you've lost so many of these mitochondria that you need 3 times more light just to see what a 20-year-old sees effortlessly. It's like your eyes are running on backup generators while everyone else has full power. And that's not even the worst part. This mitochondrial massacre is happening whether you're 30, 40, or 50, slowly stealing your vision one cell at a time. But what if there was a way to bring those power plants back to life? What if you could reverse the clock and see like you did years ago? Stick around, because what I'm about to share isn't some snake oil or fancy surgery. It's backed by cutting-edge research that most eye doctors won't tell you about. And it starts with understanding why your cones are crying out for help. So let's dive deeper into this mitochondrial crisis that's hijacking your vision. Picture your retina as a bustling city at night, with millions of streetlights keeping everything visible and bright. Now imagine those lights going out, one by one, until you're stumbling around in the dark. That's exactly what's happening with your mitochondria. These cellular powerhouses aren't just hanging out randomly in your eye. They're concentrated in those cone cells we talked about, specifically in that tiny spot called the fovea. And man, when they start declining, it's like watching dominoes fall. First, you'll notice you can't quite make out faces in dim lighting. Your brain's ability to differentiate between light and dark, what scientists call contrast sensitivity, starts breaking down like an old car engine. Then boom, suddenly you're cranking up every light in the house just to read a simple text message. Next thing you know, you're seeing glare everywhere at night, like someone smeared Vaseline on your windshield. Driving in the rain becomes this nerve-wracking nightmare where every headlight looks like a supernova exploding in your face. And if you let this slide long enough, you're looking at age-related macular degeneration, which is just a fancy way of saying the most important part of your eye is deteriorating faster than old newspaper. But here's what really grinds my gears. Doctors act like this is inevitable, like you're supposed to just accept it and upgrade your prescription every year. They're not connecting the dots between your lifestyle and this mitochondrial apocalypse happening in your eyeballs. And speaking of lifestyle, there's this silent killer that's accelerating the whole process, something that's probably sitting in your pantry right now. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room: sugar. And I'm not just talking about the obvious stuff like candy and soda. I'm talking about the hidden sugars lurking in your bread, pasta, and that healthy granola bar you had for breakfast. See, when sugar floods your bloodstream, it doesn't just mess with your waistline or energy levels. It literally attacks your eyes like a swarm of angry bees. This process is called glycation, and it's basically sugar molecules crashing into proteins and forming these sticky, destructive clumps called AGE's advanced glycated end products. Sounds like something out of a horror movie, right? Well, it should, because these AGEs are turning your flexible, crystal-clear eye lens into something that looks like frosted glass. That's what cataracts are, my friend. It's not some mysterious disease that randomly appears. It's years of sugar damage crystallizing in your lens. And if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, man, you're playing Russian roulette with your vision every single day. Type 2 diabetes is one of the leading causes of blindness, not because the disease itself is evil, but because that chronically elevated blood sugar is like acid rain pouring through your retinal blood vessels. It destroys those precious mitochondria we talked about even faster, creating something called diabetic retinopathy where your retina basically starts falling apart. But here's the beautiful irony. The opposite of diabetes is the key to saving your vision. When you flip the script and run your body on ketones instead of glucose, when you give your cells a break from the constant sugar assault, something magical starts happening. Your mitochondria begin to heal, your lens starts clearing up, and your eyes get a second chance at life. And that brings us to the first real solution that can start reversing this damage today. Now we're getting to the good stuff, the breakthrough that's got researchers practically jumping out of their lab coats with excitement. It's called red light therapy, or if you want to sound fancy at parties, photobiomodulation. And before you roll your eyes thinking this is some new age nonsense, hear me out, because the science behind this is absolutely mind-blowing. Scientists discovered that exposing your retina to a specific wavelength of red light, precisely 670 nanometers, can literally resurrect those dying mitochondria we've been talking about. It's like jump-starting a dead battery, but for your eyeballs. The red light penetrates through your eyelids and hits those cone cells, optimizing mitochondrial function and repairing damage that's been accumulating for years. And get this, you only need to do it for 3 minutes once a week. That's it. 3 measly minutes standing in front of a red light, and the effects last 7 whole days. It sounds too good to be true, like something out of a sci-fi movie, but the research is solid and the results are stacking up. People are reporting clearer vision, better color perception, and improved night vision after consistent use. But hold up, before you run off and buy the first red light device you find on Amazon, you gotta be smart about this. The market's flooded with sketchy products that either don't emit the right wavelength or are so powerful they could actually damage your eyes. You need devices that are IEC 62471 exempt or classified as RG1 low risk, which basically means they've been tested and won't fry your retinas. And here's my golden rule: always keep your eyes closed during the treatment. Yeah, some studies say it's safe with eyes open, but why take the risk? Infrared light penetrates through your eyelids just fine, and you're protecting yourself from any potential harm. There are affordable options out there, even special bulbs designed for babies that cost less than your morning coffee for a week. But red light therapy is just one piece of the puzzle, and if you really want to reverse vision problems, you need to combine it with a next strategy that literally creates new mitochondria from scratch. Here's something your optometrist definitely isn't telling you. You can actually manufacture brand new mitochondria through specific lifestyle choices. Yeah, you heard that right. Your body has this incredible ability to create fresh power plants for your cells, and it all starts with 2 things that might sound boring but are absolutely transformative: exercise and fasting. Let's talk exercise first. When you move your body, especially during long walks, hikes, or any sustained aerobic activity, you're flooding your system with oxygen. And oxygen is like fertilizer for mitochondria. Your cells literally respond to this oxygen-rich environment by going, "Hey, we need more power plants to handle all this activity." And they start cranking out new mitochondria like a factory on overtime. It's called mitochondrial biogenesis, and it happens throughout your entire body, including those precious cone cells in your retina. But here's where it gets really interesting. Intermittent fasting supercharges this whole process. When you're not constantly stuffing your face and your body enters a fasted state, it switches from using glucose for fuel to burning fat and producing ketones. And ketones, man, they're like premium gasoline for your mitochondria. They burn cleaner, produce less oxidative stress, and actually protect your cells from damage. Plus, when you combine a low-carb ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting, you're doing the exact opposite of what causes vision problems in the first place. Remember how we talked about sugar and diabetes destroying your eyes? Well, keeping your blood sugar low and steady is like building a protective fortress around your retina. And there's this bonus effect called autophagy that kicks in during longer fasts. It's your body's way of taking out the cellular trash, recycling damaged proteins, and cleaning house. Those annoying floaters you see drifting across your vision? They're just damaged proteins floating around in your eyeball, and autophagy gobbles them up like Pac-Man. Try a 48-hour fast every couple weeks, then work up to 72 hours, and watch those floaters disappear. But fasting and exercise only work if you're also giving your eyes what they're desperately craving, and that's where nutrition becomes the game changer. Let's get real about vitamin A for a second, because there's this massive confusion floating around that could be sabotaging your vision right now. Most people think they're getting enough vitamin A by munching on carrots and sweet potatoes, loading up on beta-carotene like it's going out of style. But here's the cold, hard truth. Your body has to convert that beta-carotene into actual usable vitamin A, and guess what? A huge chunk of the population has a genetic glitch that makes this conversion super inefficient. It's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a leaky bucket. You could eat carrots until you turn orange and still end up vitamin A deficient. And when you're low on vitamin A, one of the first things to go is your night vision. Suddenly you're stumbling around in the dark like a newborn deer, and people are telling you it's just getting older. Nah, man. It's malnutrition, plain and simple. The solution: stop relying on conversion and go straight to the source. Real, preformed vitamin A found in animal foods. We're talking egg yolks, liver, cod liver oil, and butter. These foods deliver vitamin A in its active form, retinol, which your body can use immediately without any conversion gymnastics. And here's another curveball. Even if you're eating all the right foods, you might not be absorbing them. If you've got a fatty liver, cirrhosis, gallbladder issues, or chronic gut inflammation, your body's ability to absorb fat-soluble vitamins goes straight down the toilet. It's like having a fancy sports car with no gas, all potential, no performance. You gotta fix your digestive system first, otherwise you're just throwing money and nutrients down the drain. But vitamin A is only part of the nutritional equation, because there are two other powerhouse compounds that act like bodyguards for your eyes, protecting them from the daily assault of light and oxidation. Now let's talk about the dynamic duo that most people have never even heard of, lutein and zeaxanthin. These two phytonutrients are like sunglasses built into your retina, filtering out harmful blue light and protecting your precious cone cells from oxidative damage. And man, do they pack a punch. Studies show these compounds can literally improve your visual performance, help you see better in low light, and protect against age-related macular degeneration. They're concentrated in that fovea we keep talking about, acting as a natural defense shield against UV radiation and free radicals that want to destroy your vision. Here's what's cool. You can find lutein and zeaxanthin in kale, Swiss chard, and pistachios. The amounts in these foods look impressive on paper, and all those health gurus love to preach about eating your greens for eye health. But there's a catch. Bioavailability. Just because something contains a nutrient doesn't mean your body can actually absorb and use it efficiently. And this is where egg yolks absolutely demolish the competition. Yeah, kale might have more total lutein and zeaxanthin than eggs, but the form in egg yolks is wrapped up in fat, which means your body absorbs it like a sponge soaking up water. You're getting maybe 10 times more usable lutein from a couple egg yolks than from a giant kale salad. It's not about what's on the label. It's about what actually makes it into your bloodstream and reaches your retina. So if you're serious about protecting and improving your vision, you need to be eating egg yolks regularly. And I'm not talking about those sad egg white omelets. I'm talking whole eggs, yolk and all, preferably from pasture-raised chickens. But even with perfect nutrition, if you're spending all day staring at screens like most of us, you're creating another massive problem that's literally warping your eyeballs. All right, confession time. How many hours have you spent today staring at a screen? If you're anything like me, it's probably way more than you'd like to admit. And every single second you're locked onto that glowing rectangle, your eye muscles are stuck in this constant contraction, like holding a dumbbell curl for hours without rest. Your lens is flexed to focus on something 2 or 3 feet away, and those ciliary muscles controlling it are cramping up tighter than a fist. This is called accommodation spasm, and it's why everything looks blurry when you finally look up from your phone or computer. Your eyes are literally stuck in close-up mode, unable to relax and refocus on distant objects. And the fix? It's so simple it almost sounds stupid, but it works like magic. You need to spend at least 2 hours a day looking at distant objects, preferably outside where you've got real space and natural light. Not just glancing out the window while scrolling through Instagram. I'm talking about actively focusing on a tree branch, a bird flying by, a cloud in the distance. You're retraining those muscles to stretch and relax, undoing the damage from all that screen time. And here's the ninja technique that takes this to the next level. The 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Set a timer if you have to, because I guarantee you'll forget otherwise. And while you're doing this 20-second distance focus, blink deliberately every 5 seconds. Why? Because when you're glued to a screen, you don't blink nearly as much as you should, and when you do blink, you're not even closing your eyelids completely. This incomplete blinking is drying out your corneas faster than desert wind, causing eye strain, fatigue, and that gritty feeling like someone dumped sand in your eyes. Just this simple practice, looking far away and blinking fully, can reverse months of eye strain in a matter of weeks. But dry eyes aren't just about blinking, and there's a sneaky vitamin deficiency that could be turning your eyes into the Sahara Desert. Here's something that's going to blow your mind. If your eyes are chronically dry, burning, or irritated, the problem might not actually be your eyes at all. It could be your autonomic nervous system throwing a tantrum because you're deficient in vitamin B1, also known as thiamine. Yeah, I know, sounds random, right? But stay with me. Your autonomic nervous system controls all the automatic stuff your body does without thinking. Heartbeat, digestion, and yes, the production of tears. When you're low on B1, this system starts malfunctioning like a computer with corrupted software. Those tiny glands around your eyes that are supposed to be pumping out tears all day long, they just stop working properly. The smooth muscles controlling your tear ducts get lazy, secretion drops, and suddenly you're walking around with eyes as dry as beef jerky. And the worst part? Most people have no clue they're B1 deficient because the symptoms are so vague and widespread. You might feel tired, foggy-headed, a bit anxious. And yeah, your eyes are dry, but you never connect the dots. Now here's what depletes B1 faster than almost anything. Consuming tons of carbohydrates and sugar. Every time you eat bread, pasta, rice, or sweets, your body burns through B1 like crazy to process all that glucose. Coffee and tea, even though they're not sweet, also drain your B1 reserves big time. And if you're diabetic, man, you're basically hemorrhaging B1 every single day. The solution is twofold. First, supplement with a good quality B1, preferably benfotiamine, which is the fat-soluble form that absorbs better. Second, and this is crucial, you gotta fix the underlying reason you're deficient in the first place. Cut down on the carbs, ease up on the coffee, and stabilize your blood sugar. Within weeks, your tear production should normalize and that chronic dryness vanishes like morning fog. But there's one more villain we haven't fully addressed yet, and it's quietly destroying your lens, creating cataracts, and accelerating every vision problem we've discussed. So let's bring this all together, because if you've made it this far, you're serious about reclaiming your vision, and you deserve a clear roadmap to make it happen. Everything we've talked about, the mitochondrial decline, the sugar damage, the nutritional deficiencies, the screen time strain, it all connects into one comprehensive approach that can genuinely reverse years of vision deterioration. Start with red light therapy, 3 minutes once a week with your eyes closed, using a safe 670 nanometer device that's been properly certified. This alone can breathe new life into those dying mitochondria in your retina. Then layer in intermittent fasting and a low-carb ketogenic diet to slash blood sugar, produce protective ketones, and trigger autophagy to clean up cellular debris. Get moving with regular exercise to create new mitochondria from scratch and flood your system with healing oxygen. Load up on egg yolks for bioavailable vitamin A, lutein, and zeaxanthin to protect and nourish those cone cells. Spend 2 hours daily looking at distant objects outside, and religiously follow the 20-20-20 rule to release accommodation spasm and keep your eyes properly lubricated through complete blinking. Supplement with vitamin B1 to restore tear production if you're dealing with dry eyes, and consider higher doses of vitamin D3 with K2 and magnesium if you're battling glaucoma or serious inflammation. For cataracts, NAC eye drops combined with clean eating can dissolve those glycated proteins clouding your lens. Add saffron for macular degeneration support. And don't underestimate the power of carnosine from red meat. If you're over 50, get yourself a high-quality LED reading light in the 3000 to 4000 K range to enhance visibility while your eyes are healing. Watch the sunrise or sunset without looking directly at the sun to reset your circadian rhythm and boost intracellular melatonin production, which acts as a powerful antioxidant protecting your retinal cells overnight. And here's the ultimate hack, alpha-lipoic acid to break down those advanced glycated end products, plus polyphenol from turmeric, resveratrol, and dark chocolate to fight oxidation and inflammation throughout your entire visual system. This isn't a quick fix or a magic pill. It's a complete lifestyle transformation that treats your eyes with the respect they deserve. Your vision didn't deteriorate overnight, and it won't fully recover overnight either. But if you commit to this protocol consistently for 3 to 6 months, You'll start noticing changes that'll make you question why nobody told you this stuff years ago. Colors will pop brighter, night driving won't feel like navigating through fog, you'll read smaller text without squinting, and those glasses you thought were permanent might just end up in a drawer collecting dust. Your eyes are incredible organs with an amazing capacity to heal when you give them the right tools. Stop accepting decline as inevitable and start treating vision problems as the reversible metabolic dysfunction they actually are. You've got one pair of eyes for your entire life. Isn't it worth doing everything possible to keep them working at their absolute best? Look, if this video opened your eyes, pun totally intended, to what's really possible with natural vision recovery, then I need you to do something right now that'll make a massive difference. Hit that like button, because here's the thing. YouTube's algorithm is like a stubborn mule, and it only shows videos to more people when it sees engagement. Every single like you give tells YouTube, hey, this content is valuable, show it to everyone struggling with their vision. And trust me, there are millions of people out there right now squinting at their screens, resigned to a lifetime of worsening eyesight, who have absolutely no clue that mitochondrial rescue and metabolic optimization could change everything for them. Your like could literally be the difference between someone discovering this life-changing information or staying stuck in the dark, thinking glasses and surgery are their only options. And listen, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I'm constantly diving deep into health topics that mainstream medicine either ignores or doesn't want you to know about. We're talking about reversing chronic diseases, optimizing your metabolism, uncovering nutritional secrets, and giving you the science-backed tools to take control of your health instead of being a passive patient waiting for the next prescription. This channel isn't about quick fixes or selling you magic supplements. It's about empowering you with real knowledge that actually works. And here's the beautiful thing about subscribing. You become part of a community that's done with accepting decline as normal, that's hungry for truth, and that's willing to put in the work to live vibrantly at any age. Drop a comment below and let me know which tip you're going to try first. Are you diving into red light therapy? Starting intermittent fasting? Loading up on egg yolks? I read every single comment, and your feedback helps me create even better content that addresses exactly what you need. Plus, when you share your experiences and results, you inspire others in this community to take action too. It creates this ripple effect of healing and transformation that goes way beyond just one video. So do yourself and everyone else a favor. Like, subscribe, comment, and share this with anyone you know who's struggling with their vision. Together, we're not just improving eyesight, we're revolutionizing how people think about health, aging, and what's truly possible when you work with your body instead of against it. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll be tackling another health topic that'll absolutely blow your mind. Until then, take care of those eyes, stay consistent with the protocols we discussed, and remember, your body wants to heal, you just gotta give it the right conditions. Peace out.